Thank you for tuning in. Wanted to give some knowledge, provide some of my insight, some of my opinions, and some of what I think is going on and going to happen for the next 10 years. I have begun to really distance myself from making decisions that I can be proud of in a short term. I don't look to make decisions based on, I'm going to do this now so that, in 3 weeks I can feel good about it. I'm going to go on a diet now. I'm going to go to the gym now so that at the end of the month I can look really good and be healthy. I'm starting to see that the ability to reverse engineer from longer periods of time is kind of just the cool thing. Like when you're 12 years old, and then you grow up and you go toward being 15, 16, 17, you're working on certain things that you can be proud of along the way, and then look back at and be like, man, I did all these things. Here I am, I'm 16, I'm a cool guy. That worked out. So you're in a sense, when you're 12, you're doing these things so that when you get into high school or, late middle school or, early college, you'd be like, man, I was paying dues then, look at me now. And that's kind of the same way I am right now. Is like, I'm not into the short-term cares. I don't want to look at me now, what do I have now? I want to look back in 8 years, 10 years and be like, man, I was doing things in 2020. Look at me now. So it's just a perspective on really broadening the scope and going, shifting the mindset a little bit. And in doing that, I'm looking into the future, trying to make decisions on, if I could go back to 2012, and invest heavily in Tesla and Bitcoin and blah, 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 and Apple, whatever, you would do it, right? You'd do it in a second, man. If you had 45 seconds to go back into 2012, you'd be like, boom! So that in 2020, you can be looking at, Bitcoin, at 37,000, already over 40K. Tesla, after the split, what are we at right now? 870, times 5, $4,300. Boom, we're looking at, Amazon doing these things. We'd go back into 2020 and make some plays that now we see, we'd go back in 2012, make some plays that now we're seeing in 20 make some. So here we are. We're back in 2012, except it's not called 2012. It's called 2020. And we're trying to make plays. Now, when I say I want to go back to 2012, I'm watching, a couple of my financial mentors. I really like the social capital guy, the guy that was early with Facebook. What's his name? Chamath, Chamath P. He's big on the space, and Richard Branson's company now talks a lot about his Bitcoin, and he sees Bitcoin going to the moon. Cathie Wood, of course, with ARK Invest. Her takes, on Tesla going to be a $4,000 stock of $15,000. People laughing at her and making comments about her. Some of these people, I'm looking at the things they're saying that have back in 2012, 2014, 2016 made assertions that here in 2020, boom, man, if only we could go back in time again and go with Cathie Woods then. If we could go with Chamath then. If we could go with Buffett then. Whoever it is that you like. Get that scope, listen to some of these people, and make some bets. Some of the things that I'm researching, it just has me thinking about Bitcoin a lot. And I think if you can get through the volatility and you can make one of these bets for a long term, I think Bitcoin's the bet to make now. I have countless videos that, I didn't offer out because I don't know, it's a little bit tacky for me to be talking about it, but countless videos pre-split Tesla when, Tesla split at, what was it, at 2,200 or 2,100 or something, it split and it went back to 4, I don't know. But I remember, I have videos I could post right here, it's like, keep buying, buy, and I still feel Tesla's a buy. And the reason that I think Bitcoin and Tesla are buys, those are my big things, and all the ARK invests. Although I feel more comfortable in the crypto world right now than I do in the stock market. I keep thinking we're going to have a giant pullback in the stock market, but I think it can recover. Like, look at what individual wealth in this country has done recently. I could be a little bit wrong on some of my numbers, but I feel like we're not even a decade ago or 5, 6, 7 years ago, the richest people in the world being worth 18 and 20 billion, 6 billion. I remember when Bill Gates was still the richest person in the world, probably in like 2012, and he was worth like 6 billion. Now we got Musk and Bezos, you know, worth 185 billion plus or minus 10 billion. So it's like just individual wealth is doing this, stocks are doing this. It's like a crazy time. Cathie Wood with ARK Invest, she talks about how there's so many different innovative like paradigms all emerging at the same time that are just like going nuts. And there's things changing. Things are changing in all ways of this world. I mean, look at these last 14, 15 months we've lived through. I mean, they're bonkers. They're crazy. So why not make some plays now that you can look back at on in the future and say, man, that was a good play I made then. And, you know, here's the reason that I think we should make these plays now, why I think Bitcoin and the ARK Invest, ARK, the genomics especially, is because you do it anyway. It's like, if you want to expand, if you want to be a different person, if you want to change and have greater wealth going on, like you have to make the decision. So it's like, if you need to play a more slowed down role because your perspectives are that things are going to pull back big time, and you want to use the money that you have on the pullback, I don't mind that approach, a conservative approach, waiting for the right time to buy. I made a video not long ago saying you don't make money when you sell, you make money when you buy. So go into that video, watch that. We were talking about NEO and Tesla and some of the stocks in there. So get your good entrance. I'm not saying hop in right now. You know, we're in October. We're 900% where Bitcoin was in October. So I'm not here to say that it's not going to do this or that, but if you're making a long-term buy and you're reverse engineering from a long way, maybe the buy in this circumstance, even if it can pull back 20, 30%, maybe it's not that important if we're talking about Bitcoin. Like, come on, guys, these people are literally talking about Bitcoin going to 500,000 and 1 million and, you know, bull, time away, 15 million. And it's at 38 grand right now. Imagine putting 38 grand in there, having 1 Bitcoin right now, and in 8 years, Bitcoin's worth 400,000. A little 12x wouldn't bother me much. So I'm just saying, yes, be prudent, do your homework, stay out, wait on a good time to get in if you want, but if you're reverse engineering from far enough in the future and you're willing to hold through the volatility, maybe enter the playing field. Holy goodness, I think we'd all like to go back to March of 2020 and make some bets right there, but we can't go back in time. I can't go back in time, man. So, you know, do what's best for you, do what's best for your future. But again, what I was just trying to say is, like, you got to make a decision, because not making a decision is making a decision to not make a decision. Sitting put and not getting in the game, to me, is worse than getting in the game and losing and going back to failure. I'd almost prefer to be in the failure zone than the sitting put zone, because then I have to wonder what if. And then I become 85 years old, God willing, and I'm laying there wishing that in 2020 I made those stinking bets, because things are going to the moon. Amen. See you guys.